Have you been on the hunt for a tiny desktop that can actually keep up with the latest games, heavy video projects, and a multi-monitor setup, without turning your desk into a server room? I get it, there are a lot of mini PCs out there that promise power, but most of them fall short when you throw a real workload at them. So today I'm taking a close look at the msecore mini gaming PC, the version that packs a 14th Gen Core i9-14900F, an RTX 4060, 32GB of DDR5 RAM, and a 1TB PCIe 4.0 SSD, all squeezed into a chassis that's smaller than a laptop. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the size of this thing is something you'll actually notice. At 270 by 215 by 55 mm, it's about the size of a bread loaf, so it slides right onto a bookshelf, fits into a home theater cabinet, or even hangs under a monitor with a VESA mount. That means you can finally keep a high-performance rig in a living room or a cramped home office without sacrificing floor space. The compact form factor also makes it a decent travel companion for creators who need a workstation on the go. Just pop it into a sturdy carry case and you've got a full-blown desktop ready to plug in wherever you find a power outlet. Performance-wise, the Core i9-14900F brings 24 cores to the table, which translates to smooth multitasking whether you're rendering 4K video in Adobe Premiere or streaming a game on Twitch while the game itself is running at high settings. The RTX 4060 with 8GB of GDDR6 handles modern titles like Cyberpunk 2077 or Horizon Forbidden West at 1440p with ray tracing turned on without choking. Even if you're not a hardcore gamer, that GPU gives you plenty of headroom for GPU-accelerated tasks such as AI upscaling or complex 3D modeling in Blender. I've been using it for both gaming and editing, and the transitions have been seamless. No dreaded lag spikes when I switch between a game and a video timeline. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM is another practical win. DDR5 runs at higher bandwidth than DDR4, which means faster data access when you're juggling large textures in a game or loading huge footage files for a project. In my own workflow, the extra RAM lets me keep multiple applications open, like Photoshop, DaVinci Resolve, and a web browser with dozens of tabs, without feeling the usual slowdown. And the 1TB PCIe 4.0 SSD not only offers a lot of storage for games, media, and software, it also cuts load times dramatically. I've seen game-level loads drop from 20 seconds to under 8 seconds, and video file imports that used to take minutes now finish in a few seconds. Connectivity is surprisingly generous for a device this small. There are 4 USB 3.2 ports for fast data transfer, perfect for external SSDs or a VR headset, plus 4 USB 2.0 ports for peripherals like keyboards and mice. 2 HDMI ports and 2 DisplayPort outputs let you drive up to 4 displays at once, which is great if you're setting up a trading desk, a multi-monitor gaming rig, or a creative workstation where you need a timeline on one screen and a preview on another. The inclusion of Wi-Fi 6E ensures a stable, high-throughput wireless connection, while the dual 2.5 gigabits Ethernet ports give you room for a wired network if latency matters for online competition. One of the quieter benefits, pun intended, is the thermal design. The chassis uses a smart airflow layout that keeps the i9 and the RTX 4060 running cool even under sustained load. That translates into lower fan noise, which is a nice touch when you're recording voiceovers or just trying to focus on editing. Because the whole system is sealed in a metal case, there's also less dust buildup, which means you'll spend less time cleaning and more time creating. Now, let's talk about the practical side of ownership. If you're a streamer, the built-in HDMI and DP outputs let you feed your game to a capture card while still using the same PC for encoding and chat moderation, no need for a separate streaming rig. For a family that shares a single desktop, the multiple ports make it easy for each person to plug in their own monitor or TV without fighting over cable space. And because the system runs Windows 11 Pro, you have access to advanced features like BitLocker encryption and remote desktop, which can be handy for IT pros or anyone who likes to tinker with virtual machines. Every product has its trade-offs, so here's a quick rundown of what I've liked and where I've felt a little held back. On the plus side, the sheer performance you get in such a tiny package is impressive, gaming at 1440p, video editing, and multitasking all feel really fluid. The port selection is generous, especially the dual HDMI and DP combo that lets you expand your workspace without buying an external dock. And the build quality feels solid. The metal chassis gives it a premium feel and the cooling system stays quiet even when the CPU is pushing its limits. On the downside, you'll notice that the power supply is a bit modest, so if you ever want to